You know, history loves talking about tyrants, warlords, psychopaths, and a suspicious number of men who clearly needed therapy. But what about nice people? Well, when nice people snap, it's never nice. Today, we're diving into 3 moments when the kindest, most unproblematic humans of their era suddenly said, "You know what? I've had enough." And the world paid for it. Before we start, comment where you're watching from. I'm trying to see which country has the most calm people with potential to explode. Jeanne de Clisson, from Sweet Noblewoman, the pirate queen of vengeance. Jeanne started off as the medieval definition of a soft girl. Polite, elegant, raising kids, minding her business, until the French king invited her husband to a peace celebration, then immediately arrested him and publicly executed him. Jeanne, all right, enough, your turn. Sheffield, she then sold all her land, hired a personal army, bought 3 warships, painted them pitch black, dyed the sails blood red, and named her flagship My Revenge. This wasn't heartbreak. This was supervillain origin story energy. Jeanne de Clisson proceeded to terrorize French ships across the English Channel. She wasn't interested in treasure, only punishing France. Every French noble she captured, beheaded by Jeanne personally. One survivor on every ship was spared to run back and tell the king, "Yeah, remember that widow? She's unhinged now." She became known as the Lioness of Brittany, because honestly, what else do you call a mom of 7 who turns into a medieval John Wick? JIROZŌ, the gentleman who snapped over love. JIROZŌ was a kind, humble charcoal merchant in 17th century Japan. Too kind. So kind that no woman in his hometown ever paid attention to him, partly because smallpox scars left his face badly marked. One day he wandered through Edo to relax and, surprise, surprise, accidentally walked into Yoshiwara, the elite pleasure district. There he saw Yatsuhashi, one of the highest-ranked courtesans in the entire city, and somehow she accepted him as a client. JIROZŌ fell madly in love. He spent everything, money, home, land, just to stay near her. Until one day he realized she didn't love him back. She was just doing her job. Desperate, he begged her, "Please, just say one kind thing to me." She said nothing, not even a pity word. And that silence broke him. He chased her into a tea house, drew a short sword, and in a single strike, cut her in half on the staircase. The shock was so intense, the entire district exploded into chaos. Jiro fled to the rooftop, waving his sword like a deranged anime character, until police drenched him with water, causing him to slip and fall. He was arrested and later executed. A tragic story, proving that sometimes the quietest, gentlest people, willingness are one heartbreak away from absolute disaster. Jeffrey Hudson. Little guy, big snap. Jeffrey Hudson was born unusually tiny, as in 19 inches tall at age 3. But instead of being shunned, he was taken into the royal household as an entertainer. And weirdly enough, he got the royal treatment. Fine meals, elite education, servants, fancy clothes. But as he grew older, Jeffrey hated being treated like a collectible pet. He wanted dignity, respect. And when the English Civil War began, he begged the Queen to make him a real soldier. She agreed. At just under 3 feet tall, he became captain of the horse, leading cavalry, much to the confusion of every tall person around him. Then came the moment he snapped. A nobleman named Charles Crofts mocked him publicly. Geoffrey, done with everyone's jokes, challenged him to a duel. Crofts accepted, laughing, thinking it was all an act. They rode toward each other on horseback. Crofts fired first, missed. Geoffrey took aim, fired, and shot Crofts straight in the forehead. Silence. Absolute silence. The Queen's favorite little entertainer had just killed a nobleman in public. Dueling was illegal, so Geoffrey was exiled, captured by pirates, enslaved for 25 years, then imprisoned again for being Catholic. Just an endless chaos speedrun. He died in poverty, but never again as anyone's joke. When he snapped hard. Nice people rarely show their fangs. But when they do, history gets a plot twist no one asked for. If you want part 2 featuring more nice people who went full villain arc, comment snap more below. And don't forget to tell me where you're watching from.